She cried and pleaded with me to take her back, but I told her she made the decision and I'm just completing her plan. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Zone Stories. Today we have a story where this man did a fantastic job when he found his wife's affair. It's a really nice story. Let's see what really happened. I really appreciate this community and found it very helpful throughout this process, so I'd like to share a truncated version of my story. My wife and I had been together for about 6 years before we got married last June of 2021. Getting married during a pandemic wasn't easy, but we had a wonderful wedding, and it was one of the happiest days of my life. Fast forward a few months later, and my wife became a completely different person. She opted to go to the office regularly, while I continued to work from home. We both worked from home throughout the pandemic. She worked for a big firm, so the longer hours seemed to be par for the course, but she no longer wanted to spend quality time with me on the weekends, spending a lot of time with her horse, and began to downplay my achievements, claiming I was no longer a go-getter, even though I was doing very well at work. People say that the first year of marriage can be hard, so I started taking my wife on regular date nights to reinvigorate our relationship. But she remained withdrawn and judgmental, which was a big blow to my self-esteem. I racked my brain thinking of what I might have done to make her act and feel this way, but I couldn't come up with anything plausible, so I started to lose sleep thinking I was possibly losing my wife to someone else. These were the worst months of my life, because I couldn't believe you could lose the person you married so shortly after tying the knot. So I convinced myself it was the pressure of her job that was causing her to act this way, and I opted to suppress the negative thoughts to avoid exacerbating the issues we were having. She was actually gaslighting me the whole time, and I just didn't know it. D-Day, I organized a romantic weekend by the beach despite my suspicions, in order to try and revive what we had prior to our marriage. I thought this would renew our bond, but she became more brazen with her disdain. I told her I loved her on our way to dinner. She didn't reciprocate, and later that evening she had me take a dirty photo of her in a bubble bath. And when I mentioned that it was a bit too dirty for social media, she responded, "That's not what I'm using it for. We have been intimate throughout our marriage," but she refused to be intimate with me on this trip. That's when I finally confronted her on my suspicions and demanded she be honest with me. She denied everything for a while, but I convinced her I had proof I didn't, and she finally confessed. She admitted to sleeping with her boss on numerous occasions for months, and that he was pressuring her to leave me. I went through a panic attack which I never experienced before, and after finally calming down, I realized what a fool she was for falling for his lies. I told her I was going to inform his wife, and she responded, "She'll find out, but you won't be the one to tell her." That's when I knew my wife had convinced herself she was going to run away with her boss. It was sick and a little evil, and I realized that my wife was never who I married. The real her was this manipulative and vile stranger. She changed my flight that night and sent me to my parents' house and told me she would mail me some boxes of my clothes. I contacted the boss's wife via social media as soon as I got to the airport, and that's when all broke loose. Long story short, the boss never planned on leaving his family, and in order to try and save his marriage, he distanced himself from my wife as quickly as possible. Apparently HR had to get involved, and my wife quickly gained a reputation around her office. She cried and pleaded with me to take her back, but I told her she made the decision, and I'm just completing her plan. Aftermath. Success is the best revenge. Life has been good now that the dust has settled. I live near some of my closest friends, met a wonderful woman, and found a great job in California. I'm learning to love myself again, and have realized that my ex-wife's opinion of me during our marriage is not a reflection of who I am or my inherent value. I'm truly happier without her, and while I occasionally feel disheartened by what transpired, I feel blessed that this truth came to light before we had kids. Edit. It is not easy and the pain still lingers, but you have to focus on yourself and improving yourself in any way you can. Exercising, eating better, adventuring, spending more time with friends and family. It all helped me cope with the trauma. I even worked hard to refine my resume and reached out to connections to find new job opportunities. It's not that I disliked my previous job, but I wanted a complete reset. I focused a lot of my energy at my new job to cement myself within the organization and distract myself from the pain. I still have trouble sleeping some nights, but as I got healthier and happier, I exuded a confidence that attracted the people around me. The best thing you can do is show growth and maturation despite these embarrassing circumstances. Show others that your ex does not define you, and those around will start to admire you for a quality they never knew you had. Everything takes time, and I promise you it was not easy for me in the early stages, but use this opportunity to find yourself again and evolve. I'm happy to see that he moved on and didn't let her win. Good on him for blowing up their affair and exposing them to HR. He is a guy that works on your marriage and relationships, and she had you on a hamster wheel. He is going to do just fine long term. He deserves happiness. Great to hear you came out the other side, mate. My ex-wife did the same with her friend's husband. Our neighbors, all the kids were friends. Same thing, he dropped her once she left me. I think she thought they were going to run off the fantasy land. He was seeing other women whilst trying to go back to his wife. She divorced him. My ex-wife desperately tried to reel me back in once I hit the gym and rebuilt myself to nothing like I was when we were married, and other more attractive females wanted to take her place. She is now a struggling single mom of 47 and unfortunately has multiple sclerosis. So sad, two broken little families. She still says it was nothing to do with her little bad boy, they were just friends. Keep pushing, mate. I found out 2.5 months ago my husband of 5 years, together for 13, had been having an supposedly only emotional affair with a co-worker on his team. Although there was definitely some caressing involved at the office. He told me he had ended it, which I subsequently found out he hadn't. He lied about ending it, and it had turned physical, slept together numerous times. Looking back, there were multiple red flags: working late nights and weekends, buying new clothes, new cologne, purchasing a manscaper, etc. He states now it is over, and it never meant anything. He just misses her companionship. However, I know they were contemplating a full relationship. Him even who would have to leave the firm if it got serious. Also, he's been currently staying in an Airbnb suspiciously close to where she lives, even though he works on the other side of the city. I'm so upset with her, as we know each other and used to go out as a group with mutual friends. They obviously still work together, and I have my doubts whether he's really not seeing her outside of work. I quit my previous job over a year ago due to the crazy hours and the effect it was having. However, I suffered burnout, various health issues, thyroid, early perimenopause, muscle fatigue, and some anxiety or depression over the next 6 months following, while starting my new job, which I have been in for the past year. He stated that he had warned me, and I never listened, and I didn't quit my job soon enough. As a result, the burnout was my fault and he didn't want to deal with it, not wanting to cuddle with me when I was down, telling me to constantly get over my depression and toughen up, telling me I'm too sensitive when crying. He hates my crying, saying he has too much stuff and stress in his life to deal with my crying. He said it took too long before I got better, and he just wanted to be out having fun all weekend, which I didn't have the energy for. I had healed after 6 months from my burnout by this past summer, so affair happened numerous months after this. However, I wasn't a total invalid during my recovery. We still went on numerous holidays, went hiking, paddle boarding, etc. on weekends, went out with friends. I just couldn't do the whole weekend and needed some downtime. He stated that during this time, he felt alone and unsupported, and this other woman was there for him, supposedly chatting through my health issues and his loneliness as I wasn't 100% healthy and fun. He stated he wasn't thinking about me during the affair, wasn't thinking about the consequences. He just wanted to live in the moment, enjoy life and have fun. I feel like I've been fighting for our marriage, willing to forgive his affair, lies and mean things he has been saying to me. However, he continues to say such hurtful things to me. Lately, he's going back even further in our relationship, saying that he hasn't been attracted to me in years. He doesn't like to cuddle, hold hands, have foreplay, as he's not attracted to me and only has bedroom activity when he can't hold his own urges any longer. He says he's 35, a good-looking guy, gyms, looks after himself, in his prime and wants to put his happiness first, enjoy life and start having fun again. Apparently I'm the safe option, and the old him would have apologized, came home and tried to make it work. But the new him is deciding to be selfish for once. Apparently he's been selfless, always doing everything for me first in our marriage. He said the affair is out of character for him, and he's had ample opportunities with other women throwing themselves at him, gym, office, etc., but he's never acted on it. Also, we moved countries 2 months after getting married, and spent 4 months apart during this time as I was packing up our life back home, while he was settling in the new country. He stated that during this time he doesn't think he even missed me. He enjoyed not having someone to answer to or waiting at home for him, and has always wondered what it would be like being single again. He said he was always attracted to my self-confidence, which was gone during my illness. If anything, what he has done is totally destroyed my self-confidence and self-worth. After 2.5 months of limbo, he continues to say he doesn't know what he wants. I eventually gave him an ultimatum to come home by the time his Airbnb is up and work on our marriage. He doesn't want to do this, saying we need to continue to live apart, and I need to date him again. And he can see if he can build up the physical attraction for me or relationship again, which means likely another 6+ months of limbo, which he may even decide he doesn't want me anymore anyways. Or, he said he'll move back in, but for the comfort of living at home and seeing our dogs, but it's not a commitment from his side. Even commenting that if he works late or wants to go out etc., he doesn't see the need to let me know what he's doing or what time he'll be home etc. He doesn't want to commit to making it work as he doesn't know what that will look like, and all he has to go on is the last 2 years, which has been worse for him. I don't know what to do anymore. The last 2.5 months and hurt of the betrayal has ended me. Missing work, unable to get out of bed, losing over 30 pounds from not eating, panic attacks, not sleeping. I've gone on to antidepressants. I was 100% healthy when the affair happened. We were enjoying the summer, so I feel it was so sudden and I feel discarded. Any further limbo and having to date my husband, hoping that he'll want me back, will just destroy me. However, him just coming back to live as a roommate essentially won't work either. I feel he should be coming home to give it a 110% effort as husband and wife. If I don't agree to either of those, I'm going to lose him. I know family and friends don't understand why, but I still love him. You don't just turn that off. I believe in commitment, our vows, in sickness and health, ups and downs, and using this as an opportunity to learn and be a better couple. He still says he doesn't know what he wants, but I feel his actions or words show otherwise. But then why hasn't he just ended it? Am I being strung along? I feel like I need to agree to either of his approaches, or chose to walk away and stop trying to save the marriage, even though he's the one who had the affair. But then he can say that I ended it. Not sure what to do anymore. Edit, we are done. He said he's not moving back in as he can't commit, and doesn't see how counseling will help as he's not attracted to me, and realized through this time apart that he doesn't miss me. He's also said he doesn't think I fought for anything. The marriage, as I didn't spend enough time with him during the time apart, so he couldn't see if he could build an attraction to me again, or consider if it could work. He said he understands maybe the first month I would be upset, but he would have thought in the last month or so I would be okay, and spending time with him. He doesn't want her and doesn't love her, and it sounds like it's been this way since the move of countries. I would prefer to be the one who ends things because of the empowerment it gives. No one wants to be the dumped one. Her ex-husband is a terrible human being. She must get therapy and move on.